baby, Meet Kevin is paper handing us both ways today, folks. Barely a week ago, liquidating a $20 million portfolio, saying, hey, we're going to give it 2-3 months, and then I'm just going to go all into this market. I'm going to pick all these stocks up. I'm going to do it abruptly, only to not even a week later saying, hey, you know what? I'm going to dump 50% of my money into this portfolio of stocks that I recently held. Now that they're starting to rebound in case of a short explosion is only a trade, by the way. None of these are long-term holds, apparently, from what he's currently saying. But this is also the most brilliant thing Meet Kevin has ever done. And a lot of people are overlooking this, and he doesn't talk about it in any of his videos. And I know why, because it's the underlying reason I would be doing a lot of what he's doing. So we're going to talk about his portfolio trades where he dumped 50% of that 20 million in the market. We're going to talk about the broader markets, and then generally, obviously, my opinion here, because this is entertainment value only. So I'm going to talk about how I feel about what he's doing. And if that's something that interests you, of course, consider hitting that like button, because first and foremost on my live stream yesterday, guys, taking a look at the Microsoft earnings, take a look at what happened here, because Microsoft dropped 7% in after hours to only fully rebound and be up almost 5% today alone. This is a fine reminder that it doesn't matter whether Meet Kevin thinks the Fed's going to move the market or these fears or all of this FUD going on really matters, because it's literally just a crack addict's market right now. Like, nobody knows whether we're coming or going. It literally is changing so rapidly day by day that it's a fine reminder that it's the equivalent of almost a roulette wheel, depending on what you're doing here, right? So let's just take a look at the trades he's doing. I'll offer some of my opinions on what's going to be really intriguing moving forward watching Meet Kevin. But first and foremost, he picked up some lemonade. And again, I'm only showing you the 5-day chart because I want you to keep in mind this is the general time frame at which he's been making these massive onslaughted decisions. And you can almost use them as a barometer like we do with Jim Cramer. When Jim Cramer says something, typically just do the exact opposite and you'll probably end up in a much better situation, considering, you know, when Meet Kevin caused all that FUD in these stocks, they traded down massively and now they're up like 20% on lemonade. The one that he just bought, Hut 8 Mining, was another one he picked up, not trading up as aggressively, but up 14% from the lows in the last 5 days here. Taking a look at Backed Holdings, one that he just recently added here in the last day. I mean, take a look at this one, up 18%. Shift Technologies, one that's trading up 27%. Tattooed Chef joining the financial educations, the Jeremys of the world, after arguing on Millennial Money about why he doesn't like this trade. But again, these are just trades to him, trying to take advantage of that short interest drying up, moonshooting some of these stocks potentially after the Fed meeting. Taking a look at Nano Dimensions here. This one has been doing very nicely as well, consistently to the upside, 22% in the last 5 days from the lows. Luminar Technologies, a really favorited SPAC amongst a lot of the EV guys out there. Take a look at that one, up 24%. SoFi, one that I thought would have done much better after getting that bank approval to become a real bank, and it's only trading up 11%. And then finally, he's been short ARK, which, again, very volatile. This is like almost shorting Tesla. It's great when the trade's working, but it doesn't look like it's working for him right now. And this one's trading up 11%, so he's getting crushed on the short. And keep in mind, he's 50% cash and does not own any of his Tesla shares back here, folks. So first and foremost, what do I feel about this? Well, honestly, I think it's absolutely insane, because I'm not a day trader, and typically over a long period of time, doing what he's doing is eventually going to bite him in the ass hard enough that he might make a percentage of his portfolio just for the long term. Because I don't know how, you know, thinking that, you know, selling all this stuff, trading this all around all the time and paying these huge capital gains and trying to do these wash sales is anything fun for anybody. Because let's be real, it's absolutely not. And every long-term investor eventually comes back and says, hey, you know, you'll make more money if you're just a little bit more patient. But a guy like Meet Kevin has done so well in the past, why not try to continue using your knowledge into the future? But I would beg to differ that the knowledge has no impactful real difference on the short term of the market, because the market can go any which way. It's like watching a company post gangbuster earnings like Microsoft and then dropping 7% and then just rebounding up 5%, doing a 12% move within an afternoon, a closing of the market, for crying out loud. Like, you cannot predict that. And I think Meet Kevin's going to sorely realize that, or win the lottery, because he's gambling, right? But that's not the point of what he's doing, in my humble opinion. What he's doing is absolutely genius. And when we scroll down in the comment section, we start seeing the genius of the controversy that he's causing, because, I mean, you just read through some of these and they're absolutely hilarious, just calling him a gambler, like, I can't take any of this advice. And even though he tells you that the smart thing to do is passive income and long-term cost averaging, even though he does the exact opposite, the reason he does that, guys, look at the views that this dude is getting. I mean, aside from just getting sponsorships now on all of these videos, I mean, just take a look at this, guys. The views are getting into the 150 to 200,000 plus range when you go back, not even, you know, a few weeks back, and he was lucky to pull into about about 80 to 130,000 being the average. So he's been going on this YouTube rampage, getting in front of all these eyeballs, you know, really driving himself into the forefront of the light as I talk about him here today. And that is the brilliancy behind being a social media influencer, guys. It's all about attention. Doesn't matter whether it's good or bad. Ask Trump how that worked out for his presidency, right? However, like I said, it's going to be neat to see how this unfolds, because obviously the day this starts unfolding outside of his favor is the day that it obviously starts hindering you to some degree, because obviously the legitimacy of your statements kind of just degrade. But again, that's the joys of entertainment value. That's the joys of YouTube. That's why we're here making these videos. You can never compare yourself to any other investor, because everybody's kind of in their own game when it comes to volatility and risk. I just don't think Meet Kevin has to give a crap, because the dude's made $20 million at the age of 29, crushing it, absolutely slaughtering it here. So he can afford to lose half that portfolio and not make a big difference, because he's going to make all of that money back and more when it comes to this YouTube channel itself, with the attention that he is drawing. I think people underestimate the fact that this guy's bringing in like more than 1 million views every few days. That relates into tens of thousands of dollars in ad revenue, guys, every freaking day. Like, it's insane how much money this guy's crushing into the market, while we all sit here and twiddle our thumbs being really annoyed that we can't follow his trades or believe in him because he says one thing but does another, right? And it's just fun watching him flip-flop, because it's literally the definition of like a crack addict day trader. And that's what these markets aspire people to be right now, whereas I'm just sitting patiently taking on investments like Tesla here, and something tells me, he said, look, if earnings don't bode as well for Tesla, I'll buy back into it if it drops. It's like, okay, but Tesla has been dropping. You've had lots of opportunities to buy into it over the last few days. So my guess is if Tesla rallies, he'll buy back into it anyways. I mean, go watch the video. You heard him say it, right? Look, if Tesla drops after earnings, I'll probably buy back in. I bet you he buys back in if it rallies after earnings as well, because you just don't know what the markets are going to do. And then heck, even a month from now, all of this could be complete BS and all the markets could fall out from under us again here, guys. That's why you care more about the underlying fundamentals of a business rather than the stock price itself, and you constantly cost average in, because you are like me, who do not have $20 million to play with, and you're just going to keep fighting to make capital, earn money, and continue to invest it and grow your portfolio over time. You are not a Meet Kevin. You're not going to do a genius trade like he might be able to pull off, because when it doesn't go your way, it could potentially blow up your account. Meet Kevin isn't going to blow up his tens of millions of dollars in real estate, and it's very hard to blow up a $20 million brokerage account, especially considering how finicky he is within and out of these stocks. So at this point, folks, I'm going to pass the question off to you. How do you feel about all of this yourself? Like I said, I think I love Meet Kevin a lot here. This guy is boding to be one of the most entertaining YouTubers in the financial space. And I think it's going to bode well in the near term, especially for his audience and just getting the attention. So it's really intriguing, but stay cool, stay awesome. And as always, I'll catch you in the next one.